You don't want to talk to me, man. I'm cheating off or something.
I said you look good and you don't want to go out with me. Hello? Can you hear me?
Seeing someone else uncomfortable makes you uncomfortable.
You don't want to talk to me, man. I'm cheating off or something.
I said you look good and you don't want to go out with me. Hello? Can you hear me?
Seeing someone else uncomfortable makes you uncomfortable.
Some of you have seen the video. This was in the news doing the rounds, apparently. What we have there, a little monkey. A little monkey running his little chops, trying to impress women, all this bravado, all this nonsense, you know, thinking that's the way to chat to women. You know what? Because that's the way to chat to you, because that's the way you chat to your little hood rat girls, that's how you think you chat to all women. That is the issue. Listen, let me write to TFL and tell them that. Okay? Because basically, you know, let's get into it. Let's get into it. Yeah, let's go. TFL advert, which was released as part of a campaign, had been banned by the Advertising Standards Agency, the AFASA, in February this year for reinforcing negative stereotypes about BLACK men. Okay? Now, let's stop there. A stereotype, listen. The way you younger lot are carrying on this day and age, it's kind of becoming the norm. Okay? You know, I was actually one of the first to say pattern recognition. What's now known as pattern recognition. I was one of the first to say that, but the context has been taken out of context to make it used by the far right when they're trying to say, "Oh, you lot, all of the black folk," and this, I'm going with that. Okay? No. In a general sense, it's a pattern. Because it's part of your culture, right? Your modern culture to be the rude boy, go up to women and do this kind of stupidness, you know? I've seen a lot of things, you know what I mean? And that's how a lot of you young boys get yourselves in trouble. You know? You don't know who that woman you're stepping to knows, okay? Because if you live in the same hood as she does, and you upset her granddad or uncle, you may be floating around, whatever it is, and tutus you on the floor. Okay? But anyway, the Facebook advert shows a young black man verbally harassing a white woman on a bus with another white teenage boy positioned near her. It was part of a larger 2-minute film designed to encourage passengers to intervene when they witness harassment or a hate crime. Why was it banned? Because the ASA ruled that when viewed in isolation, the cut down advert showed the black male as the sole aggressor, perpetrating harmful racist tropes about black men as threats. Okay, are they threats? I get it. The way the mass majority of people, because of the way the media is and because of the certain stereotypes, they've been conditioned to think that. Especially people that don't live in London or don't live in those melting pot cities. Okay? They've been conditioned to think that. So technically speaking, I'll give them a pass. Okay? So when they bump into you or get to know you, well, when they bump into you, they have that instant stereotype which forms because they don't know you. After they get to know you and go through layers, then maybe it's different. But as it stands, yeah. I guess there is a lot of racial tribes in the media regarding a high number of you that may listen to this. Okay? The ASA deemed that ad is irresponsible and likely to cause serious offence, stating it reinforced negative racial stereotypes. Okay. What interests me about this, is it's a TFL advert, okay? But isn't the TFL meant to be one of the main protagonists of racial equality as an employer? Doesn't the TFL have so many West Indian African staff among its ranks? Yes? So how can this therefore come about, that this advert has now come about from the same organisation that has so many black TFL managers, you know, in its ranks, employees in its ranks? Why is this still fundamentally a problem when we have the TFL have so many black people in its ranks and purports to be advocates of racial equality as well as other forms of equality? Make it make sense. You tell me. TFL apologised, stating the ad was a shortened version of a longer film that featured a diverse range of perpetrators and victims, including scenarios with white males. Maybe. TFL stated they used a bespoke casting diversity tracker to ensure campaigns represented London's population. Okay. So was there a Chinese one there too? I thought not. TFL confirmed they would no longer use the civic social media cut down in question. Okay. Question. To that young actor who played that role in that little snippet, wherever it was. Okay. If you're playing a stereotypical role, yeah, and you happen to be black, yeah, isn't there like a clash of interest there? Does it resonate with you that you're portraying something negative, which is going to go out there to the whole, country? Oh, no, wait, that's wrong to think that, because let's not forget, you all put money before culture, remember? Remember you said that? Instead of keeping it real to yourself and your values and keeping it real to your own values and morals, you said money first. So maybe he's just done that now. Maybe he's followed the trend that was set before of putting money first, is it, or is it not? Listen, I find it very interesting. And there's a lot of far-right people coming out saying, hold on, it's not a stereotype because it happens. Yeah, and they're saying a lot of young West Indian guys are aggressive. Maybe not, that's another conversation. But also saying, hold on, why is it offensive to stereotype a black man in that way, but then also stereotype all white men in that way? If you take the black guy out of the ad, then it's all white guys. So they're saying, are we as white guys sexually aggressive like that with women in public? That's a good question. But the thing is, the facts are as it remains, yeah. In terms of this ad, got some, stereotypical cases. I know it's fiction, but it's depicting that boisterous, young, out of control, young black male, whatever it is, just trying to check some Caucasian woman who's probably, and I've seen it happen. And this is another thing for our close, another key point. A lot of these youths, they've got no spatial awareness, no emotional intelligence, and they can't read social situations. That's why they get themselves in trouble. So it's probably, it wouldn't surprise me if the black woman sitting down is like 5 times his age. So he's like 18 or something. She's like bloody 58. And he thinks, yeah, I can rock up on this. Because that's how they are. They can't read social situations. Because they weren't taught that, because more time or not, their parents were fools. The fools of my time had kids to be the fools, had kids that were fools for the following on fools that are now of this time, which makes sense. But anyway, let me leave that one there, man. Sure. You all need, what I mean? This is what happens when you start dumbing down and start chasing the money instead of culture. Is what it is. Later.